So I didn't have a great day today. I had some blow ups at work, a couple crises. And so to make myself feel better and to reorient myself, I thought I would talk about the different things that I have used adopting the state or manifesting techniques to get, mostly unintentionally. It's so weird. I've always known that I was doing this, but I don't think I ever really bought into a super conscious direction of it. Like, I just kind of willed things into existence without really thinking about, like, I didn't do imaginal scenes or anything like that. But so I'm sure that I did lots and lots of things when I was younger, but I can mostly just remember things over the last like 15 years. So one of the first things that I can really remember doing is I read The Science of Getting Rich, totally understood it. It's basically Neville for money. So the first thing I did was I very strongly intended, just kind of mentally, I just kind of like felt it. I was just like, that I needed to find a way to make money without having a job. And I was already doing that to some degree, but not very successfully. Within a matter of days, just kind of like trying to think of things to do, I had an idea to try to sell lots of kids' clothing on eBay. This was in like 2003. And while I was out shopping garage sales for kids' clothing, I hit upon somebody who had a huge box full of books. And it was a bunch of Stephen King hardcovers. And I was completely broke at the time. I went to the person running the garage sale and I said, hey, I think this person lived a few doors down from where I was living at the time. I had just walked there or something. And I said, hey, if you don't sell these and you want to get rid of them, let me know. I can't really afford to like pay a lot for these, but if you just want to get rid of them, let me know. I'll see what she said. Oh, just take them. And I was like, oh, okay. So I took this box of books, which was like a pretty large cardboard box of books, and there were a bunch of Stephen King first editions in it. And I found a few other books in the bottom that were just weird, random things. And I listed them all on eBay, and one of them was worth like $100. And it sold in like 2 days. It blew my mind. I was like, oh my God. So that was the birth of a book flipping business that I started, which grew into an Amazon used book business. And every time I would go, I started out, I got the first load at garage sales. So then I started shopping all the garage sales, and I would go out. Here's another thing, another manifestation thing that I just sort of thought of as a positive mental attitude. But sometimes I would go out, drive around to different garage sales all over the place, and I wouldn't really find much. And I would tell myself, there's always a mother lode somewhere. We will find the mother lode. Just keep going. Just keep going. Without fail, I never went out a single time that I didn't come home with my entire car filled with like somebody's entire book collection that they wanted to get rid of. And literally all I had to do was go to the garage sale person and just say, I can't afford to pay you much, but if you just want to get rid of all of this, I could give you like 20 or 30 bucks to just get it out of your way. Like, that was exactly how I would say it. And like every time they would be like, yes, please take this stuff. Like, nobody wanted like a lot of money for it. And so by the end of the first summer, just going to garage sales, I had a book inventory of like 5,000 books or something listed on Amazon. And I just had money coming in, like I had like $3,000 a month coming in profit from that after my first month. I've never had a business that did not turn to gold right away. And I swear it's because of the mentality. And so the book business evolved from there. You know, it grew incrementally. I kept having new, you know, I would say, I really don't like having to be in people's filthy garages. Like, what else? Oh, there are big book sales at libraries where all the donated books get sold. You know, it turns out there are like book overstock places where you can go, and it turns out that Amazon has their entire inventory list and all the prices and all the rankings that you can like scan a book and find out what it's worth. You know, it just like evolved until I had a pretty profitable business. And it wasn't until I finally just said, I don't feel comfortable about this business. You know, I don't have any real control over what I get in. I have to do too much searching for stuff. You know, I want something that I can control. I just remember having this intention. I was like, okay, listen, universe, I need a second income. I need a second idea here. The only thing I have is this book business. I need a second thing. I'm not comfortable. And within, I want to say a week, I had run across the product that I now sell in my business. I saw it. I mean, I was looking for it. It didn't just fall in my face. My eyes were open. I put it out there, and then I was looking for it. And I saw this product. I said, I can do that better, cheaper, and they're missing a whole bunch of options they should have for it. I can provide that. And that was the birth of my current thing. So that, I mean, there's no way any of that stuff was an accident. It was like intention, opportunity, intention, opportunity. This will happen. This did happen, like with the books, with the mother load thing. I mean, every single time I'd find myself getting discouraged, and I would say, just keep going. We always hit the mother load. We always hit the mother, like, I remember those exact words, mother load. So those are the big things that I did with business stuff back in the day. But in 2008, I am totally convinced that I manifested my now ex, the person that I built up my current business with. I had just gone out to dinner with a very good friend of mine who I only see, I haven't seen him in 10 years now, but we would see each other like once every 5 years. But it was a type of relationship where we met, it was an instant connection where, you know, we kind of felt like we always knew each other. We always had this positive regard for each other. And it was the kind of thing where you could not talk for an entire year and then just drop a line and be like, hey, are you available? Like, can I talk to you? This wasn't somebody that I ever spent a ton of time with. It was just one of those connections where you're just instant friends and you always feel connected no matter whether you're talking all the time or not. And I had just gone out to dinner with him, and while I was out to dinner with him, I was single. I thought, man, I would love to meet somebody like him, but to be in my life every day. Like, we weren't going to have a romantic thing, me and this guy. So I came home from that dinner, and it was so clear in my mind. I was like, I want that. I want to meet someone where it feels like we have just always known each other. And I want that person in my life every day. Bing! I distinctly remember this moment of just saying, I know what I want. It's that. That was, I think, June 30th, 2008. I met my now ex, who is like my best friend, on July 3rd. I'm not sure how else you can explain that. It was the same thing. Instant friends. This guy has always cared about me from day one, like we'd been friends our whole lives, and vice versa. It's someone I can talk to about anything, and it's more of a friendship than a romantic relationship, because I had just been with a friend who was always more of a friend, And so I feel like I created that exact thing. Like, that is exactly what I got. I wasn't thinking I want a super romantic to be madly in love. And so I didn't get it. And honestly, at the time, a mad romantic partner was not what I needed. I needed the friend, and I wanted somebody to build with, and that's what we did. I got exactly what I needed and what I asked for. Another thing, really quick, I'm going to end this shortly. One other thing is, at the same time that I met my ex, because we were friends for a year before we dated, I also at the time, maybe within a couple of days of that, must have been doing some imagining at the time. I remember thinking, what's the thing I would love to hear the most from a man? I wonder if I can just imagine a statement and sort of will it into existence. What's the thing I would love to hear the most? And I thought about it, and I was like, I can't wait to marry you. That's what I want to hear. And I heard in my mind, no visual, no nothing, just blackness. And, a man's voice saying, I can't wait to marry you. Could not have been more than 3 months later that I heard those exact words out of someone's mouth. I met somebody briefly. We had this mad love affair. Heard those words. Wasn't the right guy. Did not create correctly. I just heard the words. I didn't attach it to the right person. But that's my biggest evidence. That one is my biggest evidence that these imaginal techniques produce an actual result. I have no idea how you can hear a phrase in your mind and hear it come out of someone's mouth, but I have experienced it, and I have many more stories like that. And next time I have a bad day, I will think about them and share some more.